Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome to the finale of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Last time, as you already know, we wrapped up the chamber dungeons and maxed out our heart containers, because apparently, there is no last heart piece, it's just a container. You get it from completing the last set of chamber dungeons. As I've stated before, you unlock a whole bunch of other ones, but I'm not going to do those because I feel as if we'd be here for another maybe 2 or 3 parts, maybe 4, before we even got to the finale, so I'd rather we wrap this up now. So, before we actually head to the giant egg, we actually have to go to the library because we got that magnifying glass. And now it's time to show why it's so necessary. You technically don't need it, but, well, we'll get to that. You're going to use the magnifying glass on this book, because we couldn't read it originally. Dark Secrets and Mysteries of Koholin. Round and round the passageways of the egg. Left, up, right, up, right, up. Up. Sorry, I had a bit of gas. Just opened up a can of soda. My last one, actually, so gotta make it last. Alright, now that we know the password, we're going to head to Dampe's shack, which is the closest to where the egg lies, and we're just gonna head north towards the mountain. I'll explain how that password works once we actually get up there. But yeah, it's been quite the journey. Getting all the instruments, getting to know Marin and Tarin and nobody else. Huh. I'm actually not gonna miss this island too much. Oh well. Hoot! The windfish sleeps long and dreamily in the egg above. Dreamily? When you play the 8 instruments of the sirens in front of the egg, he will awaken. This, my friend, is the only way for you to leave the island. Hoot? Don't you usually say hoot at the end of all your Oh, weird. Well, as he stated, oh yeah, for some reason I forgot to fill up the rest of the map. Alright, welcome to Mount Tamarok. I think that's how it's pronounced. And once you play the Song of Awakening, the one you get from Marin, the end of the game commences. And here we go. We can now head on inside. Also, I love the final version of the song. It's really nice. The Windfish as a whole is a pretty memorable tune. The time has come. The Windfish awaits. Enter the egg. Hoot hoot. Oh, you gotta say hoot twice to make up for the fact you didn't say it earlier. Alright, let's head on inside. Welcome to the Windfish's egg. Now, just gonna say this now, this place looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the reflection in the water, it looks so pretty. Okay, so here's how it works. When you examine that book with the magnifying glass, it'll tell you basically the order in which you need to go in order to get through this area. And there's actually a few combinations you can get for this. There is a finite amount, But it is possible that your code will be different from mine. And once you manage to complete it, you can fall down this hole. And we were born of nightmares. To take over this world, we made the world windfish sleep endlessly. If the windfish doesn't wake up, this island will never disappear. We would have been the masters of this place. But you had to come here and disrupt our plans. You can never defeat us. Let's rumble. Let's rumble? I don't know. For someone that sounds so ominous, and I don't know, that's not what that's not the kind of thing I would expect someone to say. This is Nightmare, the final boss of the game. Nightmare takes on multiple forms throughout, forms throughout this battle, and depending on what form it takes will determine what you need to use to combat it. For the first phase, it's going to just jump around in a slime form. Yeah, that's it. So just use the magic powder until it goes down. So, pretty simple. With the second phase, it takes the form of Aghanim from Link to the Past. So just like Link to the Past, you just gotta hit the projectiles he shoots right back at him. And sometimes he will do fake outs, like here. Like it'll collide with the wall, it'll split into 4 things. You want to be careful in case you do not have the blue tunic for this boss fight, because Nightmare does a fair amount of damage. I want to say 2 hearts, like at least a heart of damage. And if you only went here with the bare minimum amount of hearts, it's possible, yeah, this fight will give you some trouble. As for the third phase, it's Moldorm. Smack it enough times and it'll go down. Just be careful with the final hit, because his Moldorm form sort of goes crazy. And now he takes the form of Ganon from Link to the Past. This is different. So basically what Ganon Nightmare is going to do is send all these fiery birds at you, and then he's going to throw his spinning trident at you. The only way to attack him during this phase is with either a spin attack or the Pegasus boots. You know, with your sword out. No other weapon will work against this guy. And not gonna lie, I was actually confused during my test run as for how to get rid of this guy, but after a couple slashes, you should be good. As for the next phase, Nightmare's just going to take up the form of a really fast, tiny snake and try to charge at you. And you just use the magic rod whenever he approaches you. As for the final phase, though, alright, now this phase is actually going to take a while, and don't be surprised if you hurt yourself a good amount. Now, I'm using the boomerang for this fight, but it's actually really simple. In case you do not have the boomerang, I do believe the hook shot, I believe, does work as well. For some reason, your sword does not, which is really strange. At least I don't think it does. I did try, it didn't work, or maybe I just wasn't doing it right. But anyways, all Nightmare is going to do is swing his arms like clock hands. And the more damage you do to Nightmare, the faster his arms will get. Otherwise, this is pretty much all there is to the fight. It's actually not that bad when you actually think about it. But again, the biggest warning I have to provide to you is the fact that that Nightmare does a fair amount of damage. If you're just playing this game normally, because I already took 4 hearts of damage. I already took, yeah, he actually does a full heart. So if you act too recklessly, you actually could potentially die. And as I've already stated before, if you happen to die, you won't get that extra tidbit at the end of the game. So you gotta have fast reflexes in order to avoid his arms. Otherwise, it's just a matter of aiming for his eye when it opens up, and soon enough he'll go down. Kind of a disappointing final boss. You would think he would do at least a little more. Granted, Vadi sort of does this in the Minish Cap. He actually kind of takes a form similar to this. Anyways. And our world is gone. Or, no, well, that's what he was saying. He was about to lose our world. Scenic, you have beaten all the nightmares. Climb the stairs before you. Alright. We're done. We're at the end of the game. Hoot! Young lad, Scenic. The hero, you have defeated the nightmares. You have proven your wisdom, courage, and power. Hoot! Ha! It's funny because, anyways. I am the guardian of this dream world. But one day, the nightmares entered the dream and began wreaking havoc. Or is that wreaking havoc? Whatever. Then you, Scenic, came to rescue the island. Yeah, because that was totally intentional. I totally deliberately shipwrecked to help you guys out. That's totally what happened. Thank you, Scenic. My work is done. The windfish will wake soon. Goodbye. Hoot. And that explains why the owl knew about all that stuff and was guiding us throughout our journey. And oh my gosh, that's the windfish? I am the windfish. Long has been my slumber. In my dreams, an egg appeared. It was surrounded by an island with people, animals, an entire world. But verily, it be the nature of dreams to end. When I dost awaken, Koholin will be gone. Only the memory of this dream land will exist in the waking world. Someday, thou may recall this island. That memory makes the dream world real. Come, Scenic. Let us awaken together. Play the instruments. Play the song of awakening. And I guess we're gonna do just that. And that's it. That is Link's Awakening, the Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. Man, it's been quite the journey. I guess it's obviously time start getting my final thoughts on what I thought about the game. I mean, honestly still think Link to the Past is a more entertaining game, but I think this is actually a great. I think this is honestly one of the, uh, at least this version of the game is actually a really good stepping stone for anybody trying to jump into the series. So like, if you haven't played a Zelda game and you need and you need you need a place to start, I think you could do Link's Awakening just fine. Um, I think the combat and the dungeons are like simple enough for to pull you into what Zelda as a franchise has to offer. The island is not too big when you actually think about it. It's pretty easy to navigate through compared to Link to the Past, which was basically two worlds. Which I guess, to be fair, like, Link's Awakening is originally on the Game Boy, so I guess by default it is a smaller game. Would I recommend the original game? Probably not. But the one problem I did have with this game when I bought it, was that it was running at the $60 price range, and like that wasn't too long after it came out. I don't know if the price has lowered since then. If it has, I would certainly recommend going out of your way for this. At $60, probably not, because for what it's worth, it's still pretty much the same game as the original. Also, I love how it switches from like the remix like orchestra and the 8-bit version of the credits. So that's cool. But I think the dungeons are really cool. I think a lot of the items are really helpful. Um, the fact that this version gave us a bunch of models and stuff. Chamber dungeons are really cool. The chamber dungeons, I'll give my thoughts on that in just a moment because we got um, something in just a few moments. So I'm just gonna let that play before I give my last thoughts. And she became a bird. Cool. Now, in the event that you didn't die, you wouldn't actually see that clip. And it's going to ask you to save the game. When you reload the save file, you'll start wherever, like, I guess, wherever you last saved the game or whatever. I don't exactly remember. I didn't reload the save file because I was pretty much done at this point. But as I was saying, the chamber dungeons on paper seems like a neat idea. In fact, it's probably a prelude to a Zelda Maker we might get in the distant future. But on its own, the chamber dungeons kind of lose their luster after a while, so I can't recommend this game for that sort of thing. Not to mention, it's not like Super Mario Maker where you can share your dungeons with other people across the country or the world. Like, apparently you need an amiibo specifically in order to actually, like, transfer the chamber dungeons that you make in order to show off to your friends locally. Otherwise, there's just no way about it. Again, I think it's a prelude to a Zelda Maker. Probably not, but it is a thought that has been running through a lot of people's heads. But like I said, the idea's neat. The execution is just kind of eh. Um, I think the soundtrack is pretty good. I think the biggest problem I have to give for Link's Awakening as a whole is the fact that you're trapped on an island that you later find out is actually a dream, and it's supposed to fill you with this sense of dread that all these people are going to disappear once the windfish wakes up. I don't think this game does a good job at establishing enough character throughout all the people you meet for you to actually feel super like the only character you actually feel super attached to is Marin, and even then, like they don't. I feel like they should have had at least a little more like cutscenes and whatnot with her, because for what it's worth, it's pretty much the same as it was with the Game Boy. Like anything, like you probably could have even got that scene with her in the crate in the trendy game, if you brought her in there in the original. I don't know. I haven't played the original in a long time, but yeah, like I said, that's like my biggest issue. Marin is the only character that's worth feeling any sort of connection to because of the romantic subtext that's there. Otherwise, I thought Tarin was entertaining when he was on screen, but otherwise, all none of the characters stand out. It's not like Majora's Mask, which I still haven't played, by the way, where apparently like everybody in Termina is memorable. Everybody in Termina you feel connected to, and it, I don't know. And I would honestly think that this HD remake would actually flesh those characters out a bit more. I guess they wanted to be faithful to the original game, but since not only did you not really change the game all that much, besides the fact that, we don't need to go into the freaking pause menu every 5 seconds to switch out a power bracelet. It, I feel like they didn't add enough to this game where a $60 price tag is welcoming, like in the slightest. But yeah, those are my thoughts. The game is nice, great way to get you into the series. Chamber dungeons are story is kind of neat, but not fully fleshed out. The dungeons are simplistic, at least until you get to Eagles Tower and Toto's Rock. But anyway, I think I've ranted on long enough because this video is already like well beyond what it was supposed to be. I thought that credit sequence was going to last longer, but anyways, now that we're done Link's Awakening, I'm actually going to give you a double dose of LPs because we actually got the announcement of a certain game a few weeks ago, and I kind of got into the mood to play the second game in that series. So we'll be getting to that game in the next couple of days. As for the other game, not to not to really hide things from you with this one, I'm going back to the TLoZ series. It was one of the first LPs I did. Uh, Fantasia probably didn't come out as well as I would have liked. However, with the next game, Tales of Destiny, I think we got ourselves quite the treat. Uh, but but anyways, with that all that said, I'm Sonic 007, your host. Till then, I got a juice.